Hey all members, we have finally got a script here that is measuring intraday analysis for volatile currency pairs or forex pairs, and I wanted to show you how it works. So if you download the link here, it's about 4 megs. So when you download and extract the file, what you'll typically be looking for is the ranking file, which is right here. Now I posted another video in my analysis on it, but basically it kind of looks like, let me see if I can find a version here. Yeah, so this is a typical CSV loaded up here in Office Libre, which can same as Link Excel, and this is what it contains. So you can sort. I've been doing this in the past few videos, so you can sort by, let's say, a 1 day daily volatility, make sure it's descending, and then the proper column for it, in this case it's G. Now I'm going to be automating this to print out a better report, but for now this is how I'm doing it. So in our case, you'll see here we've got our most volatile pairs here. So the most volatile intraday is the rand and the Japanese yen, the Mexican peso, or the U.S. against the Mexican peso. So there's a lot of political turmoil here. There is the Mexican and U.S. and Canada with the NAFTA negotiations, and these ones I'm not too sure what's going on, but this one, as I said a while back, a few hours ago, maybe an hour or 2 hours ago, the British pound's getting clobbered with the Brexit negotiations as well. So right now I'm just really more concerned about these two. In one of my previous videos I did talk about this, where I've been doing a measurement of a period of the same analysis a week ago with that set of data, and another set of data a week later. And all of these analysis is intraday. As you can see, it's daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minute, 5 minute, and then we get into the recent data as well for earlier today. And what you'll find here is usually you'll find a pattern of the top two most volatile, and the same here. I mean, it switches depending upon the period, but it's usually the U.S. dollar, Mexican peso, and the rand and the Japanese yen, which is quite interesting, and that's been for the last 2 weeks. So when you start looking at the efficiency or the portfolio optimization for your position sizing, as well as your mix of like what kind of strategy, long short, long short, long only, or do you do a mix with Markovian long only, Markovian long short, or just Markovian market neutral. So I'll be doing a further analysis with that as well. But essentially what I want to show is this consistency pattern that I've been seeing, and it doesn't take long to run these scripts, so I could run them multiple times each trading session, and probably every couple of minutes actually, just to verify the volatility is still intact. So with each of these pairs is a PNG and a document, Word document. So in our case, if we look at the US dollar and the actually this is the rand and the Japanese yen, let's check out these documents here and see what they've got. So I think we've talked about this before. I'll be uploading more of these, but because people have been overwhelmed by these reports, that's why I've been holding off with that. But you can see here what I'm really more interested in is obviously a standard deviation, but it depends if it's open to open or high to low. More I'm interested in high to low. But there's our deviation, standard deviation, and then what we're after is the descriptive statistics. So in our case, how is the momentum based upon negative returns percent wise and the positive returns as well. So it's evenly split. Here's the totals, negative and positive returns as well. So here's our standard deviation as well between 1, 2, and 3. Seems to be well within the ranges. And here's our open, high to low, fairly stable. Here the high to low, but we'll do a comparison between the two. And here's our intraday ATR view, which is really the volatility that we're after. You can see here it ranges, but the 1 day is a lot more volatile than intraday, but the intraday is a lot more stable, it seems. And as you scale up the frequency, at a lower frequency, you can see that it's not as volatile. So if we looked up, now this chart is the same as a PNG file. Now if I looked up the next volatile, which is the USD Mexican. Okay, let's check out this document. Okay, so this is the second most volatile that we've been tracking over the last few weeks, but when you factor in the chart here, in the intraday view, which I've added here, again, this seems to be more volatile on the lower frequencies. So that's pretty interesting analysis, but it's not so volatile over the long term. So what that tells me is we'd be trading basically more scalping than anything. Okay, so let's do a test here and compare it against the least volatile of this set of let's see here. So we got our ranking here. So if I load up our least volatile, which is right now, oddly enough, a while back it was the US dollar in Hong Kong and the Chinese that were the most volatile, so go figure. But these are the most least volatile. So let's do a comparison of the US against the Hong Kong dollar as one of the more, well, the least volatile. So let's open up this doc. Okay. So we're just doing this for comparison purposes. Let's look at the, we can see here, you won't see it right away. Well, actually, it might be better if I just load up the PNG files. Okay, so this is the US Hong Kong dollar. And then we'll do a comparison of the, I'm looking for this rand and the rand and the Japanese yen. And this one right here. Okay, so here's the two side by side. You can see here it's slightly more volatile. See here, the extremes I know are close with the fat tails. if you were to analyze it that way. So the tails, the right tails, are a little more extreme for the Rand, Japanese yen against the US and Hong Kong dollar. Look at open, it's peaking just a little ways off of the zero. Well, this is pretty damn close. Now, if I did a comparison of that against the US dollar and the Mexican peso, again, you'll see, again, volatile. This appears to have more swings. But again, it's a little more, has a few more tails at the end there on that distribution. Here's the most volatile. So there you go. So if we run our Python scripts with this volatility versus with a measurement of that volatility, as well as our efficiency portfolio, we can get a better idea of how to be able to measure our position sizing when we do our analysis and running our trading scripts if we go into a scalping mode on these two currencies of the currency pairs of the Rand against the Japanese yen and the US dollar against the Mexican peso. So let me check out the efficiency frontier on that. But I just wanted to show you some of the examples that you could use with this intraday analysis, because the volatile ones are where the money's at, and you can use less leverage, meaning less risk, to look for these type of trades. All right, talk to you later.